Okay, family. All right. We are here. We are here. Come on in. Come on in. We have a number of topics that we are delving into tonight. A number of topics that we are delving into tonight, family. Peace, peace, peace. Peace to all my beautiful family. Go ahead and pour in because we have a number of topics that we are going to completely dissect tonight. Trust me when I say you do not want to miss what we are going over. I have my guest, Brother 19 Keys, who will be coming on as well. Shalom, shalom to my beautiful family. You were itching for another live. Peace, family. Peace, peace. Okay, so we are about to go into this. Sydney, Australia. Peace to my family in Sydney, Australia. I see Instagram is they're not trying, they're really slowing me down. So family, share this out in your Instagram story, please. Share this in your Instagram story. Peace, peace, peace. All right, so I'm waiting for my brother, London. That's right. Get ready for this soul food. Absolutely. East Palo Alto. Beautiful. Good to see you, family. Fresno. Peace, peace. Wa alaikum salam. Good to see you. I don't go live enough. Okay, I will. I'll go live more. Okay, family. So I'm waiting on my brother to come in, and we are going to get this thing going because there are a number of topics that we have to go over. So number one, while I'm waiting on my brother, let me say this, family. Number one, we are going to go over the subject of abortions. We are going to go over that subject. I know I mentioned it before. As a matter of fact, I mentioned it before they came out with this billboard. So we're going to go into that. We're going to go into why they are pushing that, and specifically in LA. We're going to go over vaccinations. We're going to go over a number of things tonight because it is that time. So hold on to your seats really quick. There are certain things that I have not exposed because I do not want to bring all of you down to such a low. But in order for us to truly rise as a people, we have to know how low this really goes, how deep this truly is, what the enemy is truly planning, what he and they are doing. We have to know. Okay? So respectfully, family, I want you to bear with me. I really want you to bear with me. Wa alaikum assalam, family. So, number one, I'm waiting for my brother to get on here, but as I wait for him to hop on, we know about abortions, okay? We know this. We know the general idea behind abortions. We know that, okay, fine, they offer it as a way for women to get out of a circumstance that they were not consenting to. A lot of women have become pregnant under force. They have become pregnant under a situation where they did not consent to the intercourse. We know this. This happens to women, and it is disgusting. It is disgusting. It is disgusting. And if any male does such a thing, the way we are taught in the Nation of Islam is that he should be put to death. Period. I don't really give a damn what anybody thinks about it. If someone forces themselves onto a woman, and you know what I'm saying, I don't want to say the R word, but we understand what I'm saying. They definitely, in my opinion, deserve that. Yes, there's something going wrong with their mentality. Yes, there's something happening with their mind. Absolutely. However, that is an area that in order for us to survive as a human reality, we have to put a high level of pressure on. Because you will not give a pass if somebody did that to your daughter. You would not give anyone a pass if they did that to your niece, if they did that to your little sister, if they did that to you. Some sisters on here, you know what I'm talking about, and you know what you've experienced. So I'm not going to harp on that, but let us be very, very fair when we say this here. The abortion clinics were established, and once again, I'm waiting on my brother to come in. They were established primarily from the beginning, from the outset, from the foundation to eradicate black and brown people. That was the foundation upon which the abortion clinics were put in place. They were not put there to give women the option. They were not put there to just say, oh, well, we want to help you to get rid of this potential life, this potential living being. That's not why they did such a thing. It was founded in the principle of getting rid of black and brown women in particularly. Okay. And then from that, of course, it spread from black, brown to native, just period. Native, indigenous, red, yellow skin. Anyone who was not blonde-eyed and blue-haired were to be targeted for eradication. This falls under the specific organization and group called eugenics. Now, make sure you take notes, family. Please make sure you're recording this on Do Recorder, D-U Recorder. Make sure you're recording this because we're going to drop a lot of information. I've already dropped a little bit. And you've heard of Planned Parenthood. You've heard of eugenics, some of you. You've heard of some of these things, but I'm going to go even further and want to delve into what the hell is going on with abortions being promoted. Then I'm going to go into who is funding it. Then I'm going to go into, oh, man. Any of you who have children, please listen up on this one. If you have children, please take care of your children. Take good care of your children, and please educate your children and do not lie to them. One of the worst things that a parent can do is lie to their child. And as of right now, you do not want to do that, because whether if you like it or not, they are going to find things out. They're going to find things out, and you want to be the person through which they learned about the information. You want to tell them the truth. And sometimes it will be difficult, I understand. But sisters, this world is going to snatch them up. Whether if you like it or not, you want them to be prepared. Brothers too. It's easier for the men to do this than the women, because the women, you are the nurturer, you are the caretaker, you bring that level of soft and subtlety when you teach. You bring comfort. But at times you will have to, especially when the man is not involved in the house, you will have to tell your daughter, tell your daughters, tell your son, tell your sons what is really going on in this world. So let us go ahead and do something really quick. Raise your hand if you have ever heard of Planned Parenthood. Raise your hand if you've ever heard of Planned Parenthood. I'm going to bring my brother in, my brother 19 Keys. We're going to be special guests on one another's platform right now. I just brought him in. He'll be popping up right now. Assalamu alaikum, Keys.
There we go.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I can hear my brother. How you feeling?
Man, I'm blessed to be alive in this time to shift the paradigm with other minds like yours, brother.
Yes, sir. All is well, brother. Peace be unto the God. We're going to make this happen, brother. I was giving them just a nice overview of two of the topics that we were going to delve into. I didn't go much because, you know, once we start delving into this, you know how it goes.
Yeah. Yes,
all right. So I gave them a nice, decent two topics that we're going to be going over. And that was, of course, vaccinations and abortion. Now, I know you hit me because you specified, you know, in LA, where we're from, you saw the billboard. And it didn't surprise me. It surprised me on the location, you know, for about 5 minutes until I realized, okay, no, it's in LA. I got it. Then when I found out it was a black-owned organization, that definitely did not surprise me at all, because in order for you to destroy the black civilization, you do it through a black face. All right. So I understood all that. Now, when you said, let's go ahead and make this happen, I said, okay, let's go ahead and make this happen. So I want you to go ahead and give your intro. What is your overview? What are your thoughts on this as far as the abortion thing? Because you said it was hitting you hard. So what is it that you're feeling about this?
It's eugenics, my brother.
Absolutely.
By any other word, it's eugenics. And the enemy looks so much like us that it's hard for us to recognize our enemy. And they disguise and they wrap it up in these ideas of self-care and self-love and access to healthcare and things of that nature. And then that's just their dirty tricks. And then what it really is, when you unwrap all of the BS around it, then what you find is, oh, this is eugenics. You know what I'm saying? And so, you know, what's the powerful thing is I commented on the page that actually sponsors those billboards, you know, and the woman, she said that her mom's mom tried to She said her mom's mom was raped when she was 14 years old, and she didn't have the ability
Mm-hmm.
to abort the baby, meaning that she couldn't abort her mom. And
Mm-hmm.
I look at this trauma and I say, wait a minute. Part of the reason that you're doing this is because of the family trauma that's been instilled within you. So
Mm-hmm.
it allows me to get to the true intent. So you saying that you're performing and operating based off a trauma, a sickness, and this trauma has now poured over into what you consider to be your purpose, and within that intent is this evil guilt trauma. And I know that one of the biggest things that we have as a number one killer in our community is abortions. So
Correct.
when you talk about a person not having lack of access, I'm trying to figure out where is all of this lack of access, because it seems that we have full access. We have too much access.
Mm-hmm.
We have an overbearing access to make decisions to abort lives that could be instrumental. And then I ask, how, if you were aborted, then you wouldn't have a choice to try to help other people become aborted. How
Correct.
can you think of a thing greater than life? And she tried to say, well, you
Mm-hmm.
can help others and things of that nature. I say, you can't help others if you aborted. You have no choice
See,
in life if you have no life.
exactly. And let me say this, brother. Number one, just so everyone can understand the level that we are going into on this, so we can all understand the perspective. There have been over 59.1 million abortions since 1973. Okay, almost 4 million of those have been black children.
Mm.
Okay, so we can understand just the perspective. Really quick, let us understand the level of wickedness that we're dealing with. Number two, the enemy has convinced, once more, the enemy has convinced you, sisters, that it is best and in your better interest of your physical health and in your longevity of life that you do not have children. They have convinced the sisters and told them that you are better off living longer without having children, and you are more than likely going to live longer if you do not have a child. But if you do try to carry a child full term, 9.5 months, you will more than likely die from giving birth than living. So it is best and in the better interest of yourself as a woman. As a woman, you should think about yourself first. You know, don't think about that child or that potential life is what they call it, brother. Potential life. You are more important. Or sorry, I was reading an article. They said my life is more important than a potential life.
Mm.
All right. So I said, okay, that's probably one of the most wicked, evil, insane things to say. But they have now gone from fighting against the system of abortion, which you have the Shout Your Abortion movement right now, founded by a woman by the name of Amelia Bonow. Amelia Bonow. She is the founder of the Shout Your Abortion movement. Now, for the sisters who have been in a circumstance where you have been, as the brother mentioned, the R word that I did talk about before he got on, he mentioned that those are the circumstances where you are looking at, okay, I don't want to have this child by this individual because this was not consensual. We did not agree on this. I don't even know him, possibly, right? I may have never met him in my life. This probably occurred when I was under the influence of some drug or some alcohol or what have you. I don't want to have this baby. I can't do this. So that is an option. Now, the difference is it is being encouraged now. The difference is that when you have that as an option because that is your circumstance in life, that's a problem. That is your circumstance. We understand. But now it is something being encouraged to do before you even involve yourself in sexual activity with anybody. They are encouraging you not to procreate, not to have life, not to have children. And they are dressing it up by giving you medical benefit, saying that it benefits you medically. Brother, they're giving all of the benefits, saying that financially you benefit, medically you benefit, socially, emotionally you feel better because you don't have another child. They're saying all these things. But the major point that they're doing now is Oprah Winfrey has endorsed the Shout Your Abortion movement. Okay, she has endorsed it. In this movement, they brag about how they did not have abortions. They brag about it. See, that the difference is women did not come out bragging about having abortions.
Right.
That's not something to brag about. But now this movement is encouraging braggadociousness about having and a
Think about
portion.
that though. Think about how
Mm-hmm.
sick you have to be to brag about the deletion of life.
Exactly.
The most sacred thing on the planet Earth that we can do, the most valuable thing on this planet Earth that we can do is give life. There's nothing that comes close to that spectrum of activity that is powerful for a human being except the reproduction of self, the continuation of
Mm-hmm.
life. So when you look at a devil is one who devalues, he detracts from life. So that
Mm-hmm.
literal thought is demonic and is devilish. And that's where I think also just that devaluing of a child seeps into this idea of pedophilia as well. I look at them as all interconnected. You
Come
know what I
on,
mean?
brother.
Because they don't value the sperm, they don't value the man, they don't value the child. All of these things are interconnected when we look at the agendas of the world, and you think that they're not weaved within the same blanket of activity, but they really are.
Mm-hmm.
And so one thing I was talking to you earlier is that there's a dangerous concept of wokeness and a dangerous concept of awareness, because the more we become aware, the more we start to accept things. You
Right.
understand? So I read in the book, the Pale White Horse, they were saying that one agenda of the government was to actually raise the consciousness of the people so that they can implement certain agendas. Because people
Absolutely.
with certain levels of consciousness just won't accept certain things. But when
Mm-hmm.
you raise the frequency, now that idea, they become more open-minded. And one
Brother.
thing that I talked about at the event was a type 1 civilization, right? It's a planetary system, a one world order, a one world brand. So social media gives us that one-mindedness to where we all linked. You understand? And it
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
allows you to impression the minds all at once. So when I look at things to like, not only that I see the billboard online and I see it in person, and I look at how people are not even in uproar about these things anymore. You hear about a pedophilia ring wanting to take Senate office, and you're not even tripping. When there was even white boys who used to bomb buildings for actions against the government. We not even
Mm-hmm.
tripping off shit no more. Because why?
Mm-hmm.
We're so aware of something that if a robot walked down the street, it only shocked us for 5 seconds, then we go back to our normal day.
Right.
You're not
Right.
realizing how much of this paradigm you got caught in, and you're so happy with your wokeness and new awareness that you accepting things being dictated to you. Now remember, the LGBT community dictation of marriage was not something that was voted upon by the people, but something that was enforced upon the Supreme Court. So it wasn't that love and
Mm-hmm.
power won. So
Mm-hmm.
your
Exactly.
new reality is dictated to you, and then that's your new viewpoint of acceptance and love.
Right. See, and as of right now, brother, the number one thing we all have to understand when it goes back to the very, very, very bottom, the minimum, or pardon me, the the atom of this entire thing. Because people say, well, what is the problem? What is really going on? Is it that white people hate black people? Is it this? Is it religious based? No, 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 no. You have something called genetic annihilation.
Mm.
You have a system where there is a group of people who are going extinct every day. They are having more deaths than they are having births. What this means is, in order for me to survive as a reality, as a ethnic reality, as a reality of a human species or human race, if you wish to call it, I must not only push to recreate and procreate more of my own, but I also have to convince all of the others or those who are recreating or procreating the most that it will be in their best interest not to procreate. I have to convince them that having life is the worst thing you could ever think of. I have to send STDs, sexually transmitted diseases, that I create in my laboratories to eradicate them. I have to use specific diseases within vaccinations and needles to get rid of them. I then have to strategically manipulate and manufacture medication to destroy their mental stability as well as their physical stability. I then have to go to the legislature and make it law for legal genocide and murder under the guise of law abiding the law, which is actually police brutality, which goes further into what is known as police terrorism under Title 18, Section 5. I have to do everything that I can to get rid of somebody who I see is out creating me.
Mm.
I am being created out of existence by a superior force. The only problem that we are looking at here is we did not come over here. We
Right.
didn't come over here. Okay, just voluntarily. We were here thousands of years, yes, prior to the prior to Christopher Columbus. Yes, we were already here thousands of years before the Caucasian ever set us foot here. But our ancestors who were brought from the shores of West Africa did not come over here voluntarily. That over 100, 200, 300 million were brought here. So when that occurred, we served our purpose and worked as slaves for them to build a world for them, to build a heaven for them. Once that was finished, they said, fine, we don't need you no more. Your time expired. Here, you let go. Get up out of here. So the problem is now they do not know what to do with us because we don't know our languages. We don't know which tribe we came from over in Africa. So they can't just send us all back home.
Right.
They can't just eradicate us. They can't just eradicate all of us, but that's their only option. They are kicking you out of jobs. They're kicking you out of your neighborhoods, which is what raising the taxes and raising the property amount is for. That is called gentrification. They raise everything up, push you out, and then they move in. Every single way that you can think about this, they're coming after us. So on my last point, real quick, brother, and I want you to respond to this. Brother Keys mentioned pedophilia. See, once you find every way, once they found every way to try to get rid of us as adults, and it wasn't working fast enough,
Right.
the last option is to go after the children and to pervert our seed itself. Because once I can get the child, then those adults will grow up so destructive and destroyed themselves that they themselves will not only be completely okay with not having children anymore, but they will destroy the seeds that are all around this nation by themselves. It will be self-perpetuating. So the pedophilia phenomena is a part of the system of depopulation, along with genetically modified foods, along with vaccinations, along with abortions. All of this goes hand in hand. So that pedophilia situation, the way to handle that, number one, if you see it, handle it. That's the first thing. We don't negotiate about. This ain't no negotiation.
There's nothing to negotiate at all.
Ain't nothing to negotiate about when it comes to this. When you see that, you handle it. People are running for Congress, and that's something they're trying to make it law.
We're in the impressioning phase. So right now we're in the impressioning phase of this whole pedophilia thing. They're molding the image and the idea and the vision in our mind, so that when we see it, we're not even surprised. And we don't even realize we're not surprised. We're like, oh, I've heard about this for a while now. It's like a commercial to a movie.
Right.
It becomes reality. And so when you see this, for one, you have to control your own your own consciousness. You're allowing them to impression ideas in your mind.
That's right.
The literal reality of pedophilia can become a norm. A norm. And if this doesn't bring and bridge people together to look at a source of an enemy and to see how evil that having billboards that says abortion is self, and then having senators that say pedophilia is not a disease and wanting to push something of normalcy in our reality, what sort of future you think is being built right now? Like, this is, you are looking at commercials of the future right now. And what we're doing is we're trying to stop the production. We're saying, no, we got a better movie for you. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be the Django of pedophilia. You know what I'm saying?
Damn right. That's right. That's right.
We ain't playing with none of this right now. But
that's right.
The crazy thing about it is that, oh, now they want to play with the connection.
See, I see you. You look good over here.
You're not angry and you're not mad, and that these things are happening around us. And of course, this is another thing that will detract from our so-called dreams. But how can you have a dream in a world where your dream will be in pedophilia and pedestry in every single corner? That's not the reality you wanted to get into. So what I look at is that I have to arm people with the defense mechanism of masculine consciousness and Zulu consciousness. So that, for one, we're allowing our women to be attacked, and now we're going to allow our children to be attacked. And then once that happened, that operation, that's a signature of loss. How you come back from that besides complete, pure violence? That's a signature of loss. You allow that to be. Imagine seeing a white man with a little black child walking down the street saying that this is my right for love. Imagine that. And a person will walk by and don't even trip off of it, and that's the little white child. It really don't matter. The sickness doesn't matter on which way it goes around. The fact that this can be a reality based upon what they're impressioning now, and a lot of people say, well, man, gay people would never get licensed to marry. That happened. That shit. People say it wouldn't be a black man in presidency. That happened. People say it wouldn't be a Donald Trump in presidency. That happened. Tell me what can't happen. Tell me what you won't accept. Tell me what reality that won't be manifested.
See, listen. See, I know a lot of people don't like to, read the Bible. Fine. A lot of people don't want to read the Quran. Fine. People just say, I'm spiritual. You're just going to be spiritual. Okay, great. Let's get spiritual then. Right now, in the back of that Bible, you see something that says Babylon. Babylon the Great has fallen. Babylon. Baby London. Baby London is what it represents. 75% of what is in that Bible, the most Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us, is prophecy. It's prophetic. It's talking about the future. All the stuff that we see, Sodom and Gomorrah being twin cities in Palestine, that's not there no more. Where is Palestine? Where is Sodom and Gomorrah? Who is doing the things of Sodom and Gomorrah? Where is pedophilia, and as my brother said, pederasty being pushed to be legalized? Thank you, guys. Pushed to be justified in law. Where is that being pushed? Other than America fully, London, and of course, the countries in Europe. This is being literally duplicated, completely reprogrammed, and brought over here and shifted into this area or this paradigm. And it had to happen this way because they spent over $500 million on psychology through the media. 500 billion is spent on media mind control, because in order for the people to be desensitized, everything that they see, you brought up a very good point, Keys. You said the billboards on television, on social media, all over the place, because it has to be impressed upon the mind over and over in your conscious as well as your subconscious. You got to see it when you sleep. You got to see it when you wake up. You got to hear about it on TV, on the radio, everywhere you go. That way, by the time you see it in reality, you will be so desensitized or numb or overwhelmed to where you won't have any feeling. You won't feel it. It'll just be a regular day. It's like the sky being blue. It's like water being brown in Flint. It's like your phone dying when you don't charge it up. It's going to be a regular thing. And that's exactly what we are preventing. That's why we are speaking on this, because everyone needs to know that this is not something to just sleep on anymore. If you see what's going on, you have to make it known, because the government is coming after our children, number one, and coming after us as men, number two, and of course, as women, number three. So we have to actually come together as a human reality in order to stop this. We can't do this from just a male perspective or female perspective. As Brother Key says, it has to be from a godtriarch or godriarchal perspective, meaning the twin sides, man and woman, together.
So my brother, this reminds me, because when you talk about them bringing up pedestry and pedophilia, that's what was rampant in Rome and Greek. And one thing that we live in is the offset from the Julian calendar, and he was a Roman general, wasn't he? And then you have that was supposed to be corrected by the Pope, and then they created the Gregorian calendar, which all still represents the same timeline. Now, one of the biggest paradigm shifting controls that they had was when they had their Roman society, and one way what they controlled the society was through pedophilia and pedestry of the young boys, by stripping them of that revolutionary thought process that they had, and then they can mentor them and impregnate the mind of the older man to the young boys, so the cycle continues over and over and over. So when I look at the things that they're doing, is that they're trying to take it back to this modern day Rome of existence. And in the Roman paradigm, the woman was lax. She was after the boy, she was after the boy. You know what I'm saying? And in the white male intellectual patriarch, his is man, boy, then woman somewhere.
That's right.
You know what I mean? And that's what they're trying to bring back again, that boy love, that mentor love. You know what I mean? So when you look at things and you look at history repeating itself, and the only way that we can have a balanced 1-for-1 is that the man and woman is having that, and I look at that as the 1-9, because I look at the man, and you look at 9/11, right? Planetary system that happened, right? Those are the two biggest phallic symbols, you know what I mean, in the world, representing America's power that was destroyed. And then it represents a time of emergency for his patriarch. And so for me, the way I look at it, it represented he got to pull out all of the stops now to try to maintain power. You know what I'm saying? And so when we're looking at what manifested after that, all of the paradigm shifted so dramatically. The fear, the black bodies, the marriages, the pedophilia, the end of presidents with Trump. You know what I mean? You had Bush just lied and used fear to get people into war, a black president. Man, it's been an emergency. Then police states and the police corruption been rapid more than we've seen in a long time. They dominating the frequency to maintain control.
Correct.
And our paradigm has to be the man and woman, because theirs is still revolved around what? The moon, the sun. It's still revolved around the sun. You know what I mean? But we know that in African culture and antiquity that they had it revolved around the moon and the sun. Why would they do? Why are you paying honor to the man and the woman? Why you got balance and harmony? That's control in the paradigm. So unless man gets, unless we in our paradigm start that God you are with the woman, then we're going to see things. Because if you hear pedophilia, you saying, wait, they coming after my children, which means that they have to be coming after our woman, because what about their mothers? What about the fathers of these children? How is that even a possibility to where the father and the mother of these children won't do anything? So what kind of rights will we have in that paradigm? So wait a minute. You know that there's an effect every time something changes, right? So will they give you less rights over your children and make decisions the same way they can change gender? Can they now have the choice to choose a grown man or woman?
Right.
What about all these teachers that get minimum years, and we seeing all of this teacher with the child? Why is that happening so much? Is that going to become a normalcy to where the teachers one day go win a case to where they don't get jail time and it's just love? You're not looking at the effects the way I look at the effects.
see, you know, brother, and that's exactly why when we speak about these things, we have to help the people's mentality to delve deeper into this. This is why we talk about cracking atoms, delving deep into the scientific nature behind topics, because this one right here, brother, as we go back to Rome, as we go back to Greece, where pederasty originated from, which was a system of man-boy loving, they found in the Catholic religion, they literally believe that the woman is unclean. They believe that the woman is the house of Satan, brother. In Catholicism, they believe that the woman is the physical house of Satan. This is why, so this is why the Pope can't get married. None of the Catholic bishops can get married. They don't believe that they should be married. They believe that the Pope is the vicegerent, or the man who stands in the place of God on earth, or who stands in the place of Jesus, particularly on earth. He cannot be married. And all of his Catholic bishops, there are over 30 of them, which they all were found to have been involved with sexual intercourse with boys. All of the Catholic bishops were called out recently by the Pope a month ago. All of them. Then he went to a church in another state, and a couple thousand Catholic priests were also called out, but he forgave them. He forgave the Catholic bishops and priests in another state, while he called out his cardinals directly under his authority in the Roman Catholic Church at the Vatican. What I'm saying is, this is something, brother, that has to go so deep, because they cannot have us existing anymore, because our existence literally equates to their demise. But the number one point is that we are not out here pushing to destroy anybody. We literally just want to be left alone. That's the number one thing that we've been pushing, which is we want to be left alone. That is all we want. We want to be able to practice freedom, justice, and equality for our own people, for our own family. And when the ruling class in Rome and in Greece and in Italy, all of these countries, when they existed, they did not treat women well at all. They didn't care about women. Women were looked at, as I said, as the house of evil for them in the Catholic religion. But the men, the Caucasian males, they just mistreated women on a regular. They didn't give a damn about the woman, period. She was used for sexual pleasure. She was used to have children. She was used to cook and clean and what have you. But as far as caring about her as a person, that's not a part of the plan. That wasn't a part of the, the agenda. The African-centered way of living, the African-centered way of relationship We cared about the woman, as you mentioned perfectly, the moon and the sun representing the man, moon representing the woman, star representing the child. We operated on that lunar and solar type of relationship, as well as the solar, as well as the universal balance. That is what we operate on. And as you said, a God triarch, or it was the man and woman ruling side by side together. That is exactly what we have to return to, because they're trying to destroy that very, 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 very basic principle, which is love for family. And as we're taught in the Nation of Islam, family is the cornerstone of the nation. So without the family, there will be no nation and there will be no society if we do not protect it.
Exactly. And that's so powerful, because if how can a man, for one, it's an impossibility, I think, for us to stand on the side of the woman and say, and really say that the value is the fact that, yes, I want you to have an abortion. Where does the man even fit in the whole abortion idea of things? Because I think a lot of times it might be, is the woman that's putting out the spot, is she a woman that's heterosexual? This matters. This
It
matters.
does. It does matter.
It really does, because if she doesn't even plan on having a baby or doesn't like men, then is this part of that intent as well? Because somebody raped her parents or grandparents, and now she has a a traumatic experience with the so-called patriarch, and she doesn't like men, and then this is part of her movement of resistance of feminism. Because I'm sure if you ask her, she's a feminist. I'm 100% sure she's gonna say yes.
Oh man,
I'll bet money on that. Let's
we
do
we
that.
gonna we gonna delve on that one too. We're gonna talk on that one. That's
Yeah.
see, yeah. Go ahead. I'm gonna make a comment on that one.
So when we're looking at this reality, I want people to understand that consciousness actually supposed to give you power, right? You become aware of something, you have more power over it. But you have to get the whole picture, because if somebody give you a little bit, that's not enough. Like, a person can entice you and give you a reason. So, like, look, inside the crib, like the same way a kidnapper gets the children to come into the van. Hey, I got candy for you. The child is aware of the candy. Now he's making a decision based on his new level of awareness. Hops in the van. He didn't know that the guy or woman had intentions of actually goddamn raping and kidnapping and killing him. So, but if you have understanding and knowledge and awareness that, wait a minute, their intentions is murder, their intentions is nefarious. Now I'm going to use my new level of awareness to make a better decision. So therefore, it changes the outcome of things. But we are just the children taking the candy. You know what I'm saying? And now they're kidnapping us because of our new level of consciousness, and allowing them to rape, murder, pillage, and do whatever the hell they want to once they got us. And I think that perfectly sums up where we are with this consciousness and this half-baked consciousness in this so-called realm of spirituality. Because a lot of people, oh, I'm spiritual, I do this, but you got no structure, no order, no balance in your life. And
No
intricately, when there's
discipline.
chaos, just also causes more chaos. So what you do, because the whole point of, and I'm not telling people to become religious and no shit, but I'm telling you to look at
Right.
the purpose of what it was started for, which is supposed to get us in balance within our nature, rules of conduct, so that we have balance between the material and the immaterial, the spiritual and the physical world. But a lot of people are
That's right.
spiritual with no rules. They have no
That's
balance.
right.
And so it's easy to manipulate that, because you got no real power. So
That's
we
right.
we still we don't know how many levels behind we are from actually having power and managing ourselves. And so I tell people that when I broke down the word manage, is man age, right? When you at that man age, you can manage yourself. But we're so used to the authority and the dictatorship of someone else managing our ideas, our perceptions, our thoughts. Because think about this: if we grew up in a world, and our children grow up in a world with pedophilia and abortion or whatever it is, it's legal. Some people will say that's right. They won't see a problem with it, because authority dictates your decision-making mind for you, and that will be your paradigm. So
Right.
just because something is doesn't mean it should be, nor does it have a system of morality built into it where righteousness is the overall frequency. So what we're trying to do is get you back to the balance of making decisions to where you can manage your own mind and not go to the authority, and not be dictated negativity and evil. so it
That's right.
doesn't dominate you anymore. So, brother, I want you to tap in right now because I know you're ready to pull the trigger on this feminism right now, and I want you to start from the exception and ripple effect of it is today.
Absolutely. Well, number one, the women's liberation movement with Susan B. Anthony and prior to her and even after her originated because the white woman had arguments with her white man dealing with her being treated equal to him. Number one, that had nothing to do with black women, black men, black family. We were fighting to be treated as human beings with civil rights, while the white woman had arguments with her white man and they wanted to have equal rights. There was a big difference. One is fighting to be given certain rights, a part of their own level of comfort within their privilege. And the other group is fighting to literally exist and be treated as a human being. That is the big difference here. We were equal, black men, women, and children. We were equal across the board because we definitely didn't have no damn rights. We were not being treated as a human being. We were considered 3/5 of a human being, meaning we had less value than that of a dog, while white women were far more valuable than black men. White women were far more valuable than black women. White women were far more valuable than black children. So that is the first meat that we must understand, which is the women's liberation had nothing to do with any other woman other than the middle class, Caucasian, white woman. Number one. When you fast forward it from that point, you're looking at the white woman needing black women for numbers' sake. Numbers' sake. Because they did not have enough numbers with which to gain access to their agenda. So they came to the black women and said, you know what? Aren't y'all oppressed too? Aren't you suppressed too? Don't you need to be free from him? When it's like, wait, what? Free from what? And to go where and to do what? We didn't enslave the black woman. We enslaved together. I don't have nothing that I'm taking away from her. She ain't got nothing that she's taking away from me. What? We all poor right here. Right? So it's like, what are you talking about? So they convinced them that not only are you being oppressed, but you're a minority too, aren't you? The black woman is a minority. It's like, wait, hold on. So it worked for the small group of women who went and joined the movement. Now, the movement, brother, even below all of this, because at the time, it destroyed the progress overall of the black family. It destroyed the progress of the movement. It destroyed the progress of the overall momentum, which was us realizing a level of freedom, justice, and equality as a family, as a group, as a existing reality of people. It destroyed it, and it put us all the way back. So now, the crazy thing is, a more study that I did in the women's liberation movement, it was actually created by the Rockefeller family to give women rights to remove the child from the home because they took the woman out of the house, which means the child had to go to a school because the children were homeschooled at first. So they went to public school where the Rockefellers could then instill in them the mental manipulation of being a slave, which was founded under John D. Rockefeller, the founder of the General Education Board. He's the one who pushed the education and the funding for the education. And then they took the mind of the child, and they also could now tax the other half of the population because women didn't have rights, so therefore they could not be taxed. So it was two major agendas behind that. It had nothing to do with giving women rights. They have never cared about women in this damn country. Women would not have to fight for rights if they cared about them, if they gave a damn about them. And to this very day, they still don't. That's why they're encouraging them to have abortions. That's why women are fighting to be given equal pay. That's why they're fighting all of this. All this, brother. So from the past to the present, the fight is still the same. The difference is black women have now become white women.
Whew. You know what's so interesting about the whole idea of the abortion is that you know that every woman has to lay down with a no good man in order to have abortions. It's meaning that you can't manage your own sexual activity. And so that what you have is an ability of reproduction, you now have to delete because you're not responsible with the management of self. So when we look at things like, you know, trying to find a cure for cancer, it's like, do we put more money into finding a cure for cancer or preventative? But we don't actually want to get to those things, the root of the problem, which is the issue. So giving people more options to create abortions is also giving them more rule to be sexually, promiscuous with their activities and not have to ever manage themselves.
Right.
It's also have built into that effect, like, oh, I can be a hoe and just and just abort the baby if I want to because I got more options. So it's like,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm not saying that, and I know that this is a sensitive topic for a lot of women. So I'm not saying that
Mm-hmm.
all the women who get abortions are hoes or anything of that nature.
Oh
But
no,
I'm
no,
saying
of course not.
what's built into the idea of this. These are one of the effects of it. This is the side effect of it. I look at the side effects because I deal with future building. You know what I mean? I want to see
Mm-hmm.
how this is going to affect the next generation. And if we're not looking at the side effects, then we just keep taking the drugs that they give us, thinking that it's supposed to cure something. When the side effects is
Mm-hmm.
worse than the actual disease or that thing in which we need to be cured from in the first place. So we have to
Absolutely.
be careful in every decision that we make. And we have to say, wait a minute, when you introduce this, it has a trickle effect. And that trickle
Mm-hmm.
effect, let me see what's going to happen when we get down to 2029. What would the world look like? Either we're planning or we're caught in someone else's plan. We be caught up in
Mm-hmm.
someone else's scheme of things, under someone else's impression. And those
Mm-hmm.
impressions and being under someone else's impression will change your expression, will change your behavior, will change your reality. So if we're not the
Mm-hmm.
ones planning, saying that, oh, my brother Rizza has an agenda to have the world more righteous by the year 2029, and he has these certain things that he's going to do to implement. And now he has $1 billion behind him to make sure that the whole world actually reaches to this point of his agenda. That's us planning
Mm-hmm.
and funding our agendas. But no, we're saying that, oh, these people are planning and they have money behind it, so they can actually change the paradigm, and they're doing it in a strategic manner to make sure that that which they have in mind is actually going to be in reality. We're not the ones
Mm-hmm.
planning, they're planning. God is the best of planners. The devil is a good planner as well. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And you can
Mm-hmm.
find the devil in the details, and it's going to make up the bigger picture. So we're giving you the details to see the bigger picture of what reality will be one day that you're going to have to face. But instead of
Right.
facing reality, let's plan for a new one. Let's get active
That's
and
right.
see what do we need to do in order to take strategic methods, and we can say we shifted this, and our children would have had to deal with an alternate reality.
That's right. That's right. See, we have to create our level of consciousness, not just accept the consciousness that's given to us. You have to create your own consciousness, meaning you have to literally look at what you see and see it and admit what you see and say, okay,
Right.
that is what I see. That is what it is. Don't change it. Don't say, you know what? Nah, I don't think it's really that. No, damn it. That's what it is. You are
Right.
living under a system right now that does not want to see you breathing. It does not want to see you have a family. It does not want to see you exist anymore. And I'm not saying that all white people, it's not all white people. No, 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 no. It is the system that
Right.
we are living under that is a very real system,
Oh,
brother.
they
And this
victims
is,
as much as we are, because when the
oh
stuff
yeah,
happens, guess who's going to be affected by it? Because they're trying to maintain power. They're not saying that, oh, we want
right,
all power for all people. No, they want
yeah,
to just maintain their power because they understand that their majority is their power, whatever power they have. So they
right.
get into AI, they get into abortions, they get into the all their agendas. They said we're going to use everything because we in our this we 911. It's an emergency right now. We
Man,
we want to
see,
maintain a
and
1 to 10% power, so we're going to do 1 to 10% tactics to make sure we maintain the power over the 90 to 99% of the world. So because
see, and you
you
made a,
fall under
you,
that.
right, exactly. And you made a good point with that because the funny thing is, when people talk about the minority and the majority, number one, we have to understand we as original people, we as indigenous, Moorish, Asiatic, whatever you want to call yourself, original people, we are not the minority. We are the majority on the planet. We outnumber Caucasians 11-1. Fact, not fiction, has nothing to do with emotion. That's just the facts. Number two, in this country, as of right now, this country by the year 2032, the United States Census Bureau has determined that we will be the majority within the country. It will be a majority brown country.
Mm,
Now, if you hear that and you are not a melanated person, you would just heard, okay, time is ticking. I gotta
right.
hurry up. I gotta make some babies. Okay, we gotta make some babies. We gotta keep going. We gotta get this going. This is something I was talking about when we were filming Hidden Colors, when we were talking about the abortion clinics, 78 to 90% of those being within black and brown and impoverished communities, while there are fertility clinics in other communities because they are not able to carry to term 9.5 months their full pregnancy. It's really a trip, brother.
No,
It's really
exactly.
a trip. So as of right now, we have to get out of the emotion of things and we have to get into the logic, the analytical way of thinking to break things down. The moment you are emotional and you respond out of emotion, they got you.
Right.
They got you. That's how the enemy works, brother, by playing on our emotions, and they make us reactors. We have to be actors, not reactors. We must cause and not be the effect. We have to make the move and not be the victim of a move being made. Everything has to be strategic. You got to be militant minded. You got to be extremely, extremely, extremely precise and calculated when it comes to this enemy, because they are very calculated, as Brother Keys just said. When he was talking about looking at things in the future by 2029, that's not far away.
No.
That's not far. But what is that? 11 years from now?
I'm still a
That's not
young
far,
man,
man.
vibrant, and I'm gonna be mad as
Man,
hell as the society I live in is not the one that I control.
bro, I'll be
I'm on
damned
full
if
control
I
by that time, brother.
right, man. Come on, and I'm like, hold on. If I see, I'll be damned if I see 2029. I see grown men holding little children's hands,
Boy,
skipping down the
boy,
street,
I'm shooting them with
talking
my
about we
laser
in
gun.
love together. Man,
I'm slicing them with lifesavers, man. I'm gonna be a full
bro,
Jedi. You know?
bro.
we
Going to jail, not giving a damn, man. Like,
not
come on now,
giving a
brother.
damn. But
Nah.
what the point is that we can literally prevent that. Like we have the literal ability to prevent any future that we don't want to see. But we have to get into this collective sense of energy and this collective sense of, oh, our objective is this. Because if we all, and whatever we do, and we can all do it differently. Hold on, brother. We can all
Gotcha.
do things differently. We don't have to do it the same, but everything should be pointed for the purpose of the same objective and the same goal. That's
That's
how
right.
we manage our energy to where we become a different level of civilization. Right now, like I said, scientifically, man, we are type 0 civilization. We use our energy. When they call a planet a type 0 civilization, they saying that we use basically dead energy. We use plants we use energy from coal and plants. And it's saying that we don't use a planetary system of energy, which means that we use all our energy from the sun. Yeah, I mean, that wraps around the whole planet. Or we create brands that's international or cultural figures like hip-hop to where it's recognizable all around the world like Beyonce and Jay-Z. We're not doing that. Our energy is type 0. Or, I mean, that's where we are. Our energy is type 0 as well, to where we get our energy from either past leaders or dead leaders, the same dead energy. That's where we get in our power from, and or we get it from the individual, but not the collective. And so, as long as we're existing in this realm where the individual is the importance, because when we look at history, we find individuals. We don't find collectives that we look at and say they was powerful. But when we say, okay, Keys and Rizza got a good point. I actually want to help shift this paradigm. Everybody on here, I can't even see the number, but however many hundred of people is on here, they say, you know what, I'm actually going to take steps in the absence and I'm going to align my mind with theirs. Tell us what we need to do. I'm going to bring more awareness to this issue first so that all of the minds are linked in and synced in with the same objective, which is maintaining power or gaining power over our reality. Because like you said, we're not the minority. We are the majority. For one, I'm not a minor, so don't call me a minority. The reason you call them a minor, the same reason you have to have somebody in court that has to show up for you because you are a minor and someone else, like a lawyer, has to speak for you. Come on, man. We can get to the science of why they do this. I bring in my mortgage, brother. Don't let me get on right now. But when we start to believe in these concepts, we behave like minors. We have someone else manage our energy. And so when we start to manage our collective energy, which has been unity, which has been the singular most important thing that we can do. I don't give a damn whether you black, or I care about if you're black, but I don't care if you gay, you heterosexual, you Christian, you Muslim, whatever it is. If your idea of moving forward as a people is not built into the significance of our unity, then fuck everything you got going on. And I can care less about your preference, your lifestyle, none of that. The only thing I care about is our unity, because that's how we control power. That's how we get to the new stage of civilization. So you're selfish. Oh, I want to live this way. I want to think this way. This is my religion. I just happen into the Kemetic sciences. Oh, no, I believe in the Anunnaki. I don't give a damn about none of that shit. If it ain't got unity, then No, you let unity be your religion if that's the case. Let
That's
unity
right.
be your sexual preference. Shit. You know what I'm saying?
Man.
It's connecting with my people for objectives and goals that we can push the paradigm with.
Exactly. See, and the funny thing is, brother, the Honorable Farrakhan, he said we can argue over religion after we're free.
Right.
Period. Because as of right now, brother, when you are dealing with a war, when you are in the middle of a war, I don't give a damn. Like you said, I don't, brother. Who? Okay, you a Christian all of a sudden? I got a gun right here. Or I got a sword. Or I got a knife right here. We in war. My enemy is in front of me right here, and you sitting next to me, and all of a sudden you want to bring up the fact about you being a Christian and I'm a Muslim. I don't give a damn.
Right.
Pick that knife up, brother. We at war right now. That's the point. Everything you just said was beautiful because that is exactly where we are right now. We are in a war, but we don't notice that we're in a war because we're so comfortable. And that is why I told people, I'm like, you keep thinking that everything is supposed to just explode around you, that everything's supposed to just, oh my God, just take off and boom, there it is. No. It's subtle. You
Right.
deal with your enemy in a subtle manner. In the art of war, Sun Tzu goes over every detail when it comes to attacking, when it comes to trapping your enemy, when it comes to doing everything in a strategic manner. And what he says is when your enemy expands, you contract. When your enemy is fast, you move slow. When your enemy is loud, you move quietly. Everything is in the opposite, but we think it's supposed to be out in the open. They're going to come out and say, listen, we want to obliterate and eradicate 3 to 4 billion of you.
Right.
We want to depopulate 3 to 4 billion. No. They're not going to say it, but they did write it. It's in the National Security Study Memorandum 200, written by Dr. Henry Kissinger. They want to literally genocidally murder 3 to 4 billion people across the planet, starting in the third world, but not only in the third world. It's going to come here as it is already here. So everything that we're talking about, y'all, right now, this is supposed to elevate your level of not only consciousness, but it's supposed to elevate your level of work, your level of militant thinking, your level of strategic mindedness, so you can understand that it is time to make moves, not just with your damn mouth, but moves with your pockets, moves with your unity, moves with your businesses and your talents and skills. So you have to come together, because the most honorable Elijah Muhammad said that the greatest weapon that we have, the most powerful weapon that is more powerful than a hydrogen or an atomic bomb, is our unity. And he even said that we won't even have to fire a gun. We will fire the cannon of our unity.
Right.
So, bro, that's the one thing we have to do. There is no other choice. And like Brother Keys said, once again, religion doesn't matter. Sexual preference don't matter. Just don't push your homosexual agenda on me, bro.
Right.
Because I ain't with that. You can stay over there and count something, and you go over there until you realize, okay, Rizza, we're going to fight. We're going to fight. Yeah, good. All that other nonsense, we're leaving it with the enemy, because most of that stuff came from them to begin with. So,
now,
yeah, bro.
Look at what we've accepted, right? In the 70s, if a guy was walking down the street with another guy kissing him, what would have happened?
Man, please.
Come on, man. Now
please.
I say that to make this point, is that the things that we're outraged by today, they can be accepted tomorrow.
Come on.
Don't think it's so far off.
Come on.
Don't think it's so far off. Because there was a time where our parents said, never in a billion years. And
in
now,
a billion.
It happened.
Right.
So if somebody, and I don't want to really draw on that point because that's not my point tonight, but the LGBT community, like I say, have a blueprint for success. They teach you how to change your paradigm. They use fear and they use power as a tactic. They get in places of power. Politicians, entertainers, you know what I mean? All of these non-profit organizations, they get into all of these different places. And if you say something against them, what are you? You're homophobic. Oh my God, he hates us.
Man.
And then if you fight one of them, then guess what? It's a hate crime. But if you fight a black person, it's not a hate crime. If you call the police on us to get us killed, it's not a hate crime. Now, all of this cliche for their effectiveness, though. Because if you really look at it and you study it like war, and you study it like chess, you're like, ooh, they did that.
They were slick.
They changed that. And then you look at, when you go out to LA or New York, they literally have LGBT agencies. You know what I mean? Where on the side of the building, it says that's what it is. That's their headquarters. You have a headquarters for a sexual orientation or preference. Wow. Y'all don't think that's power? Y'all not looking at things the way I look at them? You think Keys ain't
Come
studying
on.
reality?
Come on, brother.
I study reality, brother, because I want to build my own reality, man. I'm not trying to live within what was configured for me, because what's configured for me is not right. It's not built upon righteousness. It's built upon capitalism and patriarchal power, white
That's
patriarchal
right.
power.
That's
So,
right.
brother, for one, I just want to thank you for doing this live tonight. I felt it on my heart. You know, we paradigm shifters. We changing the world continuously day by day. And
All day.
I know this is something that you do every day. And having the ability to be able to tap in with a brother who has a master source of information when it's time to shift the paradigm and it's time to speak about these things is very powerful.
We have 1 minute, Keys. 1 minute.
You know what? Last but not least, man, fund the agendas of your brother so we can shift the paradigm of tomorrow. Because the devil is he got his power. It's time for us to get ours. You know.
Period.
Follow us, move with us, lead with us, work with us. You know what I mean? And if you're in DC, be there.
That's it. I'm gonna take this last 30 seconds. No, brother, thank you, brother. May Allah continue to bless you and bless us in all of our endeavors, man. We the shifters. We're gonna keep changing the paradigm until everything is changed back into our hands as the original people. We're gonna rule together side by side, the man, woman, and the children. As we have already said, family, make sure you take these notes, take this video. We're gonna save it. We're gonna share it out.
Peace and blessings. Y'all see that shit, this Cash App? I created that today so that me, you, and